So I'd just like to give a brief introduction of myself and explain what I made this channel for. My name's Kevin Gruen, and the name of this channel is the Wayward Trek. And so a little bit about me. Since a young age, I've had a real strong desire to travel, and I've always had this goal of traveling to every U.S. state and country in the world, all the while trying to provide my own kind of due service everywhere I go. And as I've thought of it over time, I think part of what's driven me so greatly, even from the time I was a child, was of course traveling with my grandparents and parents as a kid. Quite a bit. I got the travel bug, and I guess I never lost it. And if anybody has the travel bug, they know what I'm talking about. But also, I think what's driven me to do so many things, or at least attempt so many things, is the gratitude I have for life, which might sound kind of strange, but this goes all the way back from what I was told about being a child. I was actually born with quite a debilitating condition of myelomeningocele spina bifida, and this actually happens to be the worst kind of spina bifida you can get. When I was a kid, the doctors told me, they told my parents that I would be dead or paralyzed if I survived a surgery that I would have. Well, I had the surgery at day 3. I know my whole family, they prayed for me and hoped for the best. The neurosurgeons, though, that operated on me, performed a miraculous surgery, really saved my life. It shocked everyone. And I think at least being told this story growing up and reckoning with this kind of thing, people in this sort of situation, we grow this affinity for gratitude and being very grateful that I have a U.S. citizenship and passport, that I do have, and I'm able to have the privilege to travel to so many countries and share the stories and adventures is part of the reason I created this channel. And perhaps this influence can help others, find their gusto, so to speak. I think it's what this story growing up, though, of having spina bifida has really driven me to attempt these audacious and ambitious kind of endeavors and treks. So yeah, anyways, so a little bit more about me. Being diagnosed with spina bifida as a kid, I'd gone to college for some time, about 5 years straight out of high school. I was working to become a neurosurgeon, actually, in the medical field. I was getting my pre-med with my bachelor's, and while I took a short break around 2020, we all know what happened in 2020, and at that time I was house hunting, and just everything went off the market, and I lost this job I was at for 4 or 5 years in a kitchen, and I was doing some carpentry on the side, but I figured I'd try my hand at another passion of mine, and I became a musician that year in 2020, and I didn't know it become quite the career that it has become. But it's really been a blessing for me. I've performed over 700 shows across 48 states at this point. I just got my first international tour booked actually next year. Been performing some larger scale venues with my band, and mostly solo. That's all under Kevin Gruen. But anyways, as I've traveled across 48 states, I've been able to provide a service, I see it as well, and I'll be doing that internationally now. So that's kind of fulfilled my goal of being able to travel in some ways and provide some sort of service back to people, because I'm all about giving back and being able to give back everywhere you go. And so I've also visited 10 countries in the world, and as I said, I'll be on an international tour next year. And so this is kind of a side project for me right now, and maybe it can flourish into something more, a lot like how music was a side project that became a full-time career for me. So through this channel, though, the main goal for me, I believe, is to influence others to not just travel, but to consider the way that they travel. See, what I've learned through the short past decade of traveling so far is is that the best way to travel is to just live like a local, and it's to hit the road. You know, you don't. I think what I'd like to prove partially with this channel is that you don't need some abundance of money. You know, that's fine. But you don't need an abundance of money to get on the road. And in fact, I think it's a better way to travel in a general sense is to actually spend less money staying at Airbnbs. You know, you meet individuals and families and whatnot, and it's the cheapest way to travel. You actually get to stay with these families, and they give you insight into what it's like to live locally, to be a local. For example, in the past, I've stayed with guests at Airbnbs. They've given me local tours themselves. They've given me guidebooks, recommendations to the cheapest places to eat, which happen to be the best, you know, places to eat. You get the local cuisine. You really, you know, you get the whole immersion of the culture, you know, and the people, which is hard to do, you know, when you stay at these five-star hotels and whatnot, and it kind of separates you from the culture. And a lot of people are drawn to these shiny tourist meccas. I think they're attracted to, which is fine, but a lot of people don't get past that. And so that's part of the point of this channel. I'd like people to try and travel off the beaten path, you know. That's sort of the mission of the Wayward Trek, you know, is to travel off the beaten path. And so it's my hope that this channel can maybe change the minds of some folks that have always stayed with friends and family at, say, five-star hotels and all-inclusive resorts. And I'm not against that. I haven't personally done that a whole lot. Just coming up from the situation I came up in wasn't the worst, but we just didn't have a lot of money. So, but I'm not against that, you know. I'm not against staying at five-star hotels or inclusive resorts. I think there's a time and place for that. My only attempt with this channel, you know, as far as that goes, is to just provide people that there is an alternative and you don't need an abundance of money to travel. And in fact, I believe thoroughly that the best way to travel is to just live like a local, to go out, like I said, hit Airbnbs, hostels. It's always cheaper, and you get the, you know, truly putting your feet on the ground, chatting with locals, you know, eating at local restaurants, and meeting people that natively grew up in places. You know, you get the truest appreciation of these places and their people and the culture, and you honestly immerse yourself. And so that's the kind of spirit that I would like to instill here on this channel. It's my hope that that's the sort of thing you stick around for, you know. And feel free to invite your friends and family to this channel. I'm just getting it started up. Hopefully I'll expand it soon, you know. Maybe if you'd like to be part of the team, if you'd like to create a bigger travel network, I won't be able to do this thing all alone. I'm just starting it up here, you know. You can contact me at thewaywardtrek.com, thewaywardtrek@gmail.com. You can contact me directly. I've also created some travel packages. I'll be travel planning, you know, and travel advising, you know, tips and tricks. That's part of this whole thing. Hey guys, my GoPro died there, but all I have to say is I'm glad you're here with me at the beginning of this journey. It's going to be a good one, just getting this channel started. You know, like, share, and subscribe to help it grow. And until next time, keep trekking.